You may be wondering if you get the same benefits as you'll get from a Young Living oil from other brands of oils. So say if you went to the local health food store and got their peppermint oil, would you get the same type of results that you'll see with the Young Living oil? And the simple answer is you won't see the same results. That oil may still smell lovely, but you won't get the same types of healing value that you'll get from a Young Living oil. And there's a few reasons for that. First is that most oils were never intended to be used for healing. 98% of essential oils in the world are intended to be used as fragrance in industrial cleaners and scented candles. So with those oils, they're simply looking at the smell of the oil, and literally, frankly, they don't really care what actually goes in that oil bottle. So when they create those oils, they actually cook them at really high temperatures. Now, when you take a plant and you cook it at a really high temperature, it actually destroys the medicinal value of the plant. So if there's 80 to 300 constituents naturally in a plant, and it takes all of those 80 to 300 constituents to get the healing value, to get those across into the oil needs to be distilled really precisely at a really low temperature for a precise amount of time. But when a company takes their oils and they cook it at a really high temperature, it simply destroys most of those medicinal components. So it's a bit like cooking veggies on the stove for too long. You know, you boil it and you boil it and you boil it, and then you just end up with this pile of veggie mush, not very nutritionally valuable. It's pretty much what happens with their essential oils. Though out of those constituents, it's literally only a handful that contribute to the fragrance. So they'll still smell lovely. You just won't see the same healing value out of those oils that you'll see out of a Young Living oil. So often people will notice very quickly, they'll see results with Young Living oils and they won't see them with health food store oils and other brands. Also, unfortunately, there's no labelling laws when it comes to essential oils in Australia nor in the United States. So you may see some essential oil bottles that say the word pure. It could be less than 5% of pure essential oil in that bottle, and the rest can be entirely synthetic. Now, the reason why companies do that and have that misinformation on their bottles is they're simply trying to reduce the price of their essential oil. And they're looking to do that because it actually takes a really large volume of plant material. We're talking like truckloads, warehouse fulls of plant material to produce just a quarter to a half a cup of an essential oil, for example, when it's in a pure form. So other companies, because they're looking for the fragrance benefits of essential oils, they'll often look to put chemicals in whilst they're distilling, and they'll simply extend the oil by having partly pure, less than 5% pure, and then the rest of the oil in that bottle is going to be synthetically created in a lab. Unfortunately, the lab-created oils don't have the same healing value that the pure essential oil does when it comes from the actual plant itself. So when using oils from other companies, they can never be used directly on the skin, and they can't be used internally for those reasons, because they can be contaminated with those chemicals, and those chemicals can have skin reactions and other harmful consequences if taken internally. So sometimes people say, well, can't I just get the health food store oil? Hopefully that helps to answer why it is that quality is so important, and why it is that Young Living specific oils, because they distill them so precisely at low temperature, because they grow their plants organically on their own farms, and because they're looking to offer a whole complete oil for healing value in the ways described in that book, The Essential Oils Desk Reference, and for all of those different ailments and injuries, that's why we need to work specifically with Young Living oils.